If you think you have to take the long way home each day, well, here's an inspiring challenge of courage, strength and vision. Turramurra Rotary Club told us about a young man who went to high school on the North Shore of Sydney, grew up, moved to Western Australia, and is currently attempting to climb the world's 7 highest peaks. Now, you need to know that about 3.5 years ago, Steve Plain was dumped in a wave at Cottesloe Beach in Western Australia. He was rushed to hospital with what was called a hangman's fracture, multiple unstable fractures, a broken neck. Now, doctors said he was lucky to be alive, but were unsure if he'd walk again. Remember, 3.5 years ago, lots of rehab, highs and lows. Not only is Steve Plain walking again, he's back on his path of adventure and is currently attempting to climb the world's 7 summits, the highest mountain on each of the 7 continents, in under 4 months. Oh, and it's a world record attempt. The world record currently stands at 126 days. Steve aims to raise awareness and funds for Surf Lifesaving Association and Spinal Cure Australia. Well, joining us right now from Mendoza, Argentina, after completing his climb of Aconcagua in Argentina in the Andes Mountains, having climbed up 6,960 metres and also climbed down again, is Steve Plain. Hi, Steve. Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, Jane. It's a pleasure. Thanks for having us on.
This is the 2nd summit that you have completed. So can you tell us a little bit about some of the differences and the climate changes that you are going to have to go through?
Absolutely, yeah. There's been climbing on every continent, or the highest mountain on every continent. Every mountain varies, so there's unique environment and unique challenges. So the first one, Mount Vincent.
This is in Antarctica?
That's correct, yeah. So on Mount Vincent, so that was, we summited down there on the 16th of January. Obviously incredibly cold, so we had temperatures down to about minus 32, and that was absolutely incredible, just stepping foot on Antarctica and just seeing the whole continent down there. And then going from there back up to Mendoza, where we are here, it's actually quite warm and dry, but Aconcagua itself was a spectacular mountain, and being close to 7,000 metres, still all glaciated and very cold up the top, and that brought about its own challenges. That one was very, very windy. From here we got across to Kilimanjaro, and again, a volcanic mountain over there, so completely different environment again. And after that it's over to Kartan's Pyramid in Indonesia, up into the jungles in Indonesia. So, like you say, everyone is very, very different and brings its own challenges.
Now, I believe after you leave Indonesia, you are actually going to come down to Australia and climb Kosciuszko for a special event.
That's right, yeah. So Kosciuszko, I guess it's a smaller mountain compared to the rest of them, but being the highest in Australia, for the Australian continent, we'll be back down there in the first week of March and working with Rotary on that, and we're doing a summit wheelchair challenge, so taking kids in wheelchairs and giving them the opportunity to get up the summit of Kosciuszko, and in the snowy mountains range down there, it's absolutely spectacular, so hopefully that'll be an amazing weekend. So
that's scheduled for the first week in March at Kosciuszko, and of course the website for people to find out more information, to let you know, is project7in4.com, so you can actually follow Steve Plain's progress, and he's got live tracking, he's also got the map, all the details, sponsorships as well, and you've got an opportunity to participate. So that's if people do want to get down to Kosciuszko in the first week of March, there's an opportunity to catch up with you on this world record attempt. Now, the world record's set currently at 126 days. You're aiming to do it in 4 months, is that right?
That's correct, yeah. So, the current record is held by a Polish mountaineer at 126 days. So the challenge I've set myself is just Project 7 in 4, so 7 summits in under 4 months. So 4 months being about 120 days. But after Kosciuszko from Australia, we go to Elbrus up in Russia, then to Denali up in Alaska, and finish ultimately on Everest. All going well, the timing that we can do will really come down to when we get a good summit window on Everest to be able to push to the top of that mountain.
Yeah, and also obviously taking care of your health. And you have other people with you, Steve, or is this something that you're doing solo at the moment?
It's something I've organised independently. For Vincent down in there, I joined a team on a commercial expedition, just due to the logistical challenges of getting down there. But for the rest of the mountains, trying to remain as flexible and progress through them as fast as possible. I'm doing them by myself with a good friend and climber from the UK, so it's just the two of us who'll be travelling around for the next 3 to 4 months.
My guest on The Long Way Home is Steve Plain, who is currently taking on the challenge to climb the world's 7 highest peaks in the 7 continents, and so it's Project 7in4.com. So he's doing it in 4 months, as we just heard Steve say. And Steve, you're raising awareness and funds in this attempt, this world record attempt for Surf Lifesaving Association and Spinal Cure Australia. Now, we heard just briefly about 3.5 years ago when it was that you were dumped by a very big wave on Cottesloe Beach in Western Australia and rushed to hospital. And the Surf Lifesaving team there on hand played a big part in your rescue. So can you tell us a little bit about it, if you're willing to, and just how they played such a huge part in your recovery? Yeah,
absolutely. And like probably most Australians have, just body surfing onto a wave, and in WA, just shore dumpers on the beach, and the wave just picked me up and drove me head first into the sand. And initially, just being dumped, I just felt so dazed and a bit numb and disorientated, and still underwater. Initially, just tried to move my arms to get to the surface, and my arms were paralysed, and that's when I realised it was actually a bit more serious. I think very fortunately there were 2 lifesavers just up on the beach who had seen what had happened, and they came down and applied all the correct first aid, and actually counterintuitively took me, rather than dragging me straight to the beach, actually took me out deeper outside the break zone. And from there, we were able to get a spinal board underneath me while keeping me very stationary and getting me back up onto the beach. And I think the actions that they took and keeping my neck still and stabilised throughout all of that was very, very crucial to the final outcome of the positive outcome that I've had. So very, very grateful for the work that they did and the training that they received through the Surf Lifesaving Association.
Yes, and following on from that, of course, was months and a couple of years, is it, of recovery. But you've also been preparing for this challenge that you're currently undertaking. What was the first climb that you undertook, and when was that, and how soon after your recovery and actually getting up and walking again?
It's been a very long process, but I guess when I left hospital, I can remember asking one of the doctors what the time frame would be for normal recovery to get back to normal daily life, and they said a minimum of 12 months. So that was my first challenge, was to try and climb my first mountain within 12 months, and actually successfully achieved that and got down to a beautiful peak in New Zealand called Mount Aspirium, which is where I did my first practice climb just 11 months after my accident.
And then you, in 2016, I believe, climbed 6 progressively higher peaks, and then a few last year as well. So this has been a lot of preparation. This is not something you've rushed into, let's put it that way. But then I guess that gratitude must really hit you when you're standing on the top of one of the mountains.
Looking back over all of this, probably just on Mount Aspirium, that first climb after my injury, and getting back up there, doing something which at one stage I thought I may not be able to do again, and that was actually really quite emotional. And now every mountain brings a different view and different emotions with it, and just so grateful I am still able to do these activities. It's
a wonderful inspiration too, and Steve, we wish you all the very best with your travels, with your climbs and your descents, and the pacing that you're able to undertake this and complete.
The one I'm actually sort of most conscious of, I guess, is probably Denali, which is just before Everest. And to try and do the time frame we're doing Denali, we're actually be climbing in winter. I've spoken to a guide up there who's climbed extensively through that region, and he said a good day out will be about minus 40 degrees, force winds. That's going to be immensely challenging, and to back up straight from that and go straight to Everest, that's something which, if I get that far, that'd be absolutely amazing, and we'll see how that one goes.
We'll wish you very safe travels, safe climbs, and Steve Plain, thank you so very much. And again, that website where people can participate, track, view, and join in with your challenge and world record attempt is Project 7in4. That's the number 7 and the number 4, project7in4.com. Thank you so much for taking the time out.
No worries, thank you very much, Jane. Looking forward to the next climb across in Africa. So fingers crossed it'll keep going as well as what it started.
It will. Cheers.
Thank you, Jane.